Hey guys, LootWizard here with another video here on Gems of War. It is the first day of the week, so this is another Soulforge video. We're going to go through all the new stuff this week, and so let's get right into it. We'll check out the new troop here after we go to the Soulforge. Let's check out the weapons. And the event kingdom this week is Silverglade, so there isn't really any amazing troops for it, and there's not really any amazing weapons either. This runestone of Silverglade is one of these types of weapons that's unique to the kingdom, but I don't really care for these types of weapons that remove gems. I'd rather have it destroy gems or explode gems. Removing them is just going to remove them. You don't get any mana generation from that. Then it will deal some damage boosted by gems removed. And then if the enemy is from Silverglade, deal double damage. That's going to be pretty rare unless you're using it specifically for Explore in that kingdom. Nature Sword deals 32 damage to the first enemy, deal triple damage if they use brown mana. It's not that great. Ethereal Shield. This is a weapon here that's going to be for this new event this week. And I don't really think this weapon is that good, honestly. It gains armor, and then it will barrier a random ally for every demon enemy. The problem I have with these types of weapons that focus on the enemy is that unless you're using it specifically in an event where you know that those enemies are going to be there, or if you're using it in explore battles where you know that there's going to be like demon enemies, this weapon is pretty useless in things like PvP because it's based... You're only going to get that barrier if there's the demon enemies. So I don't really care for those types of weapons, but I'll still get it for the event because we're going to buy some stuff over there for the sigils. Now there's a couple other weapons down here at the bottom. We have Crystal Point, which is your standard mana generation weapon for Silverglade allies. Generally, I don't really care for these weapons, but there are a few that are pretty decent. Really, for me, it depends on what kind of troops are in that kingdom and what kind of class is used for that kingdom. So this one I would say pass. There's really nothing amazing in Silverglade. Doomed Mask is a doomed weapon, but I don't care for these either. The only doomed weapons that I think are worth crafting, because it does cost 900 diamonds to craft a doomed weapon. The only ones that I think that are worth crafting are the ones that create doom skulls. This one just gives life to allies and some mana. You can do that sort of thing with other troops like Divinia and other kind of support troops. Alright, so let's head over to troops here. We'll go through these summoning stones pretty quickly. There hasn't been much in here worth trying to get recently. We do have, for Blue Day here, nothing I can recommend there. Green Day. I keep saying Green Day or the color, but it's really Summoning Stone. Not necessarily a day. Nothing for green. Red. There's a couple of interesting troops in some of these, but it's not worth spending your Summoning Stones. Elwyn is a decent troop early on in the game, but he's, you're going to get him free for doing the quest. So Hellcat is a good troop for certain team combinations where you're going to transform a selected color to red. If you're very high level and you don't have it yet, you might want to try to get that, but I don't recommend trying to get it otherwise. Nothing here. You got Greed. If you really want to, maximize your gold farming teams with Greed, you might want to ascend it here. Get as many copies as you can of Greed, because the higher its life is, the more gold it will give you when you cast it. So that's a good troop. For Brown, yeah, nothing here either. So moving on to the legendary troops then. For legendaries, we have Shadow Dragon, Borealis, Dark Monolith, and Willow. None of these I consider to be really that good. I'd pass over all of these. Even if I got these in keys, I wouldn't be that excited about them. So I would definitely not recommend trying to craft any of these for... Now, for mythics, we don't have that many great mythics. We don't have, any really good mythics this week. We have Draculus, which is a life-stealing, steals life from all enemies. That's all it basically does. It does gain life when you deal skull damage, but it has to be at the top to do that. Then we have Wolfgarek, and if you guys had seen my video, two or 3 weeks ago, I tried to get this with 1400 event keys. And then it shows up here in the forge a couple of weeks later, and I don't have enough diamonds to craft it. I only have about 1,500. So I'm going to have to wait until the next cycle when this thing comes around to craft it. And the only reason I'm going to craft this mythic troop, because it's not good, it really isn't. But I'm just trying to collect all the mythics in the game, and I only have like, I don't know, 4 more to go. So that's why. That's why. I'm definitely not going to try to get this thing in keys again, because I got burned so bad with those 1,400 event keys. I'm just going to save up diamonds and craft it, and that's going to be my revenge on that troop. So, but it's not a good troop to craft. I would definitely craft something much better than that if it's your first mythic, or even if it's like you have like 20 mythics already. There's probably a better mythic than Wolfgarrick that you can craft. Then we have Queen of Sin, which isn't a horrible troop. It's just it's kind of odd. I don't use it that much. It does deal true damage to the first 2 enemies, then it summons Wrath or Lust, and it blesses all demon allies. Now, the one good thing here is that it does have a chance to summon Wrath, and Wrath is a really good legendary troop. Lust, not so much. I mean, Lust, if you do have it fully traded, it can be annoying and a little dangerous, but Wrath is really the one that's really the best out of the 2, in my opinion. True damage is always good, but it does have kind of a low mana cost, but for some reason I just never really found like a good combination with that mythic to make it, good. Champion of Guard. This is one of the best defense mythic troops in the game. Reduces damage from spells by 50%. Reduces damage from skulls by 60%. Gives all red allies 1 to all stats at the start of each turn. Does gain armor, and a lot of it every single time you cast it, and then it creates a mix of 22 blue and red gems. It only takes red, does not take blue, so the blue gems that it creates, you should have some kind of weapon or other troop that does take blue for that to be a good combination. But it does give mana to itself because it creates red, so that's good. Generally, I put this troop at the top of my team when I do use it, because it's going to mitigate a lot of spell and skull damage, and then it's also going to gain a lot of armor every single time you cast it. So one of the best defensive mythic troops in the game, in my opinion. Now, as far as like what order I would craft them in, even though Champion of Guard is one of the best defense troops, in my opinion, I usually always favor troops that do damage over defensive troops, because if all you're doing is defense, you're never really going to win. It's better to do some kind of damage. So out of these, I would say probably Queen of Sin, just because true damage is really great. Plus, it has that chance to summon Wrath. Now, yes, Draculus does basically do true damage as well, and it steals life, but it doesn't have the summon, and that really can make a difference to continue to summon a new troop. So, but Draculus, I think, would come in for a close second for me. I would say Queen of Sin, then Draculus, and then a Champion of Guard, and in 4th, Wolfgarrick. But, yeah, that's how I would probably rank them as in order of best to worst. So that's pretty much the troops and the weapons here in the Soulforge this week. Like I said, not a whole lot going on. Not a lot of good stuff there in the Soulforge. Silverglade is the event kingdom, so if you're going to use event keys, you have a chance of getting troops for that. Let's just go take a look at what's in there. I don't remember all of them, but I'm pretty sure that we don't have anything really great in there. I'm pretty sure it's that rainbow mythic troop that creates mana and barrier and all that stuff, whatever that troop's called. Can't remember for the life of me. Queen Aurora. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, so we have Will of Anisha here, which is, it's an okay troop, does damage, steals magic, but that's the other mythic troop that would be in there. Kristen X is a good legendary troop, so you could get that from event keys, but that's pretty much it for like really good troops in this. I mean, there's a couple other ones that are decent, but some of these are actually, you won't be able to get, like like Vanya Soulmorn here, you won't be able to get in the event keys, even though it's under this kingdom, because it is a underworld troop. You have to go down to the Silver Necropolis and get it down there. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for the troops for that. Let's go check out this new glory troop here, Sapphire Knight. So for 300 glory, we're going to get 1 arcane blade trait stone. So if you need those, you can get them here. What does this troop do? It converts blue gems to yellow, and it gives 29 armor to all allies boosted by gems converted. So it is giving armor to all allies. That's pretty decent. It doesn't start with any kind of empowered or half mana or anything like that. Which is a little unfortunate, but it does convert blue gems to yellow. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible troop as far as support goes, but yeah, we're just going to grab a bunch of these. And then let's go over here. Where's it? Resources, Spoils of War. Let's get ourselves another 10 event keys. There we go. So now let's really the only thing left that I can talk about here is the world event that's going on and also the campaign. But the campaign is what it is. I've already voiced a little bit of my frustration with this. I'm still free to play on this. I haven't upgraded to my Elite Pass yet, which I may do that, but I'll probably wait a few more weeks just to see like if there's any more like extremely annoying or frustrating tasks. But so far, the only one that's been really that I skipped that was really frustrating to me was the 60 turns on the treasure maps. That's just like, what the? That's torture. For some people, they might enjoy trying to get 60 turns on treasure maps, but no, I've spent way too much time in this game already in treasure maps. So you don't get any class XP in treasure maps. The resources you get really aren't that great once you get to a higher level, and you can just do a PvP battle really quick and get like 6,000 gold or more. Just like treasure maps just aren't worth it to me. Anyway, it looks like we got some tasks here based on class. We do have to craft some purple summoning stones in the Soulforge 1. So I guess I could go do that right away. So we go to the Soulforge here, troops, and these right here, you got to craft at least one of these. Craft that. See, it says right there, ready to collect. We got the Piper. So basically, I wasted 100 souls and 50 of the purple jewels just to do that task. So we'll go in here, we'll collect this, see what the next task is. So now I got to do explore runs in Silverglade at difficulty 3 or higher. And I have noticed that this is going higher and higher, like each week. Okay, so it started difficulty 1, and then it was difficulty 2. Now it's difficulty 3. So I'm wondering if this is going to continue to increase here, because this is going on for 10 weeks, and it might actually go up to difficulty 10. For some players, that might be really hard to complete that. But you might have to skip it with gems. So that might be something that would be hard for someone to do if you're a lower level. Like for me, it's not going to be a problem because I already have like the troops and the weapons to be able to do difficulty 12. But difficulty 10 is pretty hard if you don't have high enough stats and if you don't have good troops and weapons. But most of these really aren't that hard to complete. It's just annoying that you got to come in here and you got to like, okay, so this is Tome Master. I have to win any battle with a hero using a Tome weapon. So then I have to go and I'm like, okay, so now I got to do my battles with Tome weapons to complete that. So it's just kind of like, yeah, you go a little bit out of your way to do some of those tasks. And I don't know, for me, it almost feels like a to-do list, like go take out the trash, which is something that you should do. When it's time for trash pickup, but those sorts of things aren't really like fun tasks that you do around the house, and I kind of feel like some of these tasks with the campaign is basically like that, where it's like, okay, I want the rewards from the campaign, so I have to do this task in order to get that. It's what it is. But yeah, I probably will by close to the middle to end of this campaign pay the $10 just because that mythic, let's see right here, where am I? Right here, let's go all the way over here and take a look at this mythic again that you get with the $10. Because it's a troop that converts yellow gems to doom skulls, and then it conjures a doom storm. So it's going to be a really powerful mythic troop. And that's the only reason I'm considering the $10. If it was a mythic troop that was like mid tier to lower tier of a mythic troop, I wouldn't even consider dropping $10 on it. But so enough about that. Let's go check out the world event. Shady Dealings is what it's called. And yeah, so let's go in here and take a look at this. So it's another one of these world events where we got these weird point systems. And you got all these rooms here that you fight through. Let's go to the shop. Definitely recommend getting tier 1 and tier 2 because you're going to get a potion of enchantment and explosion. Costs 100 gems to get both, these combined. But those two potions are definitely worth it. It makes the battles way more enjoyable when you have enchantment and explosion. But I'm going to buy all the way up to this weapon just because I'm a collecting freak and I like to collect stuff. So even if the weapon isn't going to be good, I'm going to collect it anyway. Plus it'll give me a little head start because I'll get my first medal, my crystal medal. So we got to go back here and we got to equip it. Let me look at this. And yeah, this was from my past week when we were doing another event. So this is going to give us, down here it says 160% skull and spell damage for all troops in the current event. So that'll be cool. But these events are really hard. These new world events that they have done here, it's really, really hard to get to completing stage 12. I don't really like that. I think you should, for the amount of time and effort that you put into these events around your busy life, you should get the rewards, I think, a little bit easier than what they've made these. But that's just my opinion. So let's go in here and see what kind of team we can make. So we are restricted to knight troops and the yellow color. So let's see what kind of team we got here. Let's do sorting by base rarity. So we have these are the mythics and legendaries. I'll go down here. We have Champion of Anu, which is a good mythic troop. We also have Champion of Guard. We have Guard's Avatar. Those are the mythics. Then we have King Mikhail, which is a legendary troop. Then we have Sir Quentin Hadley, which is a legendary troop which allows all knights to start with 50% mana. So if you do have this troop, this would probably be one to put in there because since we can only use knights, this is going to make all your knights start with 50% mana. That is going to be really, really good. We have a troop in here, though, that is fantastic. We have the Paladin. If you have a way to boost its armor, you can do insane damage with that troop, but I don't know. Let's check out the weapons here. So we are limited to yellow weapons. I was thinking we could use the Shield of Urskaya, but that's only brown. I don't know if there's any yellow weapons that boost armor. But if we did have that, then yeah, that would be nice with the Paladin troop. Rope Dart. You could use Rope Dart in here. Yeah, there's Rope Dart or, I got Dawnbringer. You also have Dancing Daggers, or Doomed Axe, because we're going to do 160% spell and skull damage, so I could create skulls with the Doomed Axe. That's going to convert purple gems to skulls. But if we go back here, I could go ahead and put Champion of Anu at the top, and we could put this guy down here. There is some mana blocking with some of what's going on here, but at least their brown is unique. This is going to create red and blue gems. So at least the Champion of Anu is more of kind of just like a backup troop. Plus because we bought the potion, the one tier where we're going to get enchanted, this troop will eventually get powered up within a few turns. this troop convert yellow to purple. That does start with full mana, but I don't know what we can use here for purple. There really is no purple. There's like 0 purple knight troops. So this as a mana generator is totally useless. But yeah, a champion of guard rather is a mana generator and a good tank, so that's probably going to be there at the top. But just out of curiosity, let's go back to the weapons and see if there is a mana generating weapon. Well, we have Orpheus Loot, which is enchanting them all. Kind of a mana generator, but not. I mean, we're already getting enchant with the potion. I'd prefer if I had something that converted or exploded gems. Well, I have Flamifer here, which creates red gems, which would be awesome for champion of Anu or guard. But then I'm going to block the brown mana to Quentin Hadley there. So otherwise, a mana generator, I have Festival Staff, create 15 red and green gems, enchant 2 random allies. Of course, we have Garland Staff, which is going to grant positive status effects to all allies. This is a very good tanky weapon. If you don't have Champion of Guard, putting in the Guardian Crown is probably going to be a really good defensive weapon. But of course, Rope Dart, you know, that's another thing that you could throw in there too. But yeah, you know, this here is a mana generator too, but it's just going to create red gems. So as far as class, we might as well put the Knight class in there because we got a whole Knight team. I don't even have this leveled up that high, but gain 2 armor every turn. That's going to happen for my class only. Yeah, I don't have this leveled up too high, but there's nothing really amazing about this class. It's just, let's go in here because we're going to create red and blue. So let's try this banner first because blue, most of my damage is probably going to be coming from my Dawnbringer. So, I mean, early on, it doesn't really matter what you're using as long as you can do damage because these troops have such low health and armor. But as you can see right there, that was with that explosion, and then right there, that's what's beautiful about Champion of Guard. It gains that armor and it creates all those gems. You can get a lot of stuff full. But yeah, I know this is a very this is a very expensive team because I have Dawnbringer as well as like 2 mythics and a legendary. So this is not something that most people are gonna have the opportunity to use, but there's a couple other weapons in there. Like if you do have Rope Dart, you could use that instead. King Mikhail, this is a pretty good damage all enemies type of troop. You could throw that in there. Guard's Avatar would work as well. So there is some other options here. Lion Prince is going to do damage to the first 2 enemies. Rakashinin does damage to the enemy boosted by their current life. And then you have things like this is going to do scatter damage. Was there, I thought there was another troop here that oh yeah, Knight Coronet. This is going to do damage to the first enemy. So there's a couple other troops that do damage to enemies in there that you could use that are not legendary, mythic, or something like that. But as far as weapons, instead of Dawnbringer, you know, preferably especially early on, you probably want a weapon that's going to do damage to all enemies. So I'd recommend like using dancing daggers right here. So if we go ahead and throw this in there, we put that at the top instead of Champion of Guard. And we can just keep that for that. Let's just go in here and see. I'll show you. This is a class weapon. I mean, you might not have it yet because you have to go through. I forget which class it is. Yeah, we got Sir Quentin Hadley. Might as well use that. But now that this is full, it's going to do damage to all enemies So that's a weapon that you could use as well. Let's see what else is in here really quick. Well, of course, Doomed Axe, but you might not. That's not that's not a weapon that you can get easy if you don't have it already. Yeah, Garland Staff isn't going to do a whole lot of damage, but you still are going to be able to do some there. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to choose from, honestly, yellow weapons. But, there's a few in here. Thunderbird, this deals true damage to an enemy through a storm, deal 15 true damage to all enemies. Dancing Daggers, I think it's the class weapon for the monster class, the Dervish. Let's get out of all this. Let's go check that out real quick. Dervish class info. Yep. Okay, so this weapon is a pretty good weapon for this event. And you just got to get 250 wins with this class equipped, and then you'll get it. But, yeah, other than that, use whatever troops you have available that are going to do damage and a weapon. And, try to get as high points as you can in that event. Collect your rewards. Work together as a guild to do that. And, that's pretty much it this week. So, yeah, not a whole lot other than that stuff going on. So, yeah, that's it for this video. And, thanks, guys, for everything. And hopefully you get something out of this video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.